Welcome everybody. I'm now just sat looking at my computer right now, which I don't normally do while I do a live. Welcome everybody. If you're here on the replay, welcome. If you've just woken up, if it's afternoon, evening, or very late where you are and you can't get to sleep, and you're now live in Bali. You're now live in a beautiful part of the island on the coast called Jimbaran. Jimbaran is very famous for its seafood. On the right of this screen, at the end of the beach, there are a number of places where you choose your fresh caught seafood and they grill it. That's if you're into seafood. If you're into, meats, I don't think it's famous for meats. The island itself is predominantly Muslim and Hindu, so you've got a lot of pork belly, so that means there's a lot of pork here. And what else? The local traditional food, I guess, is very much rice based. The local fruits are very beautiful, very, very beautiful local fruits. The only thing is that what I've noticed traveling around Bali and going to some of the rice fields as I have done, there's a lot of spraying of chemicals. So you really have to, take in the fact. I bought a bottle of apple cider vinegar, and all of the fruits that I have, they go straight into water with a couple of capfuls of apple cider vinegar for a few minutes, and then I'll eat the fruit. I'll normally cut the fruit and eat the flesh inside. I won't eat the outside. So I guess I'm a little bit OTT. I live with somebody who is very much far more healthier than I am, but I'm learning every day. I really am, to become more healthy and to be aware more than anything of everything that is. I was just having a conversation with Buran, one of the guys here who works at. Let me turn around and say hello to you. Hi everybody. I was just saying hello to Buran. Is here, and he was telling me that the Balinese now are starting to understand the dangers of sugar, refined sugar, and he said every day he's trying his best to lower the sugar content in his daily diet, and he's only about 18, I would have said 18, 19 years old. What did you do at 18, 19? What did you talk like? Did you talk like that at 18, 19? So it's actually lovely, sometimes there's a breath of fresh air or hope in the world. And he was saying to me there is a difference between, he was telling me there is a difference between fruit sugar and refined sugar. He was actually telling me, and I had such a big smile on my face thinking, and I asked him, what do you mean? What is the difference? And he said that the fruits give you energy. And the fruit sugar is turned into energy, whereas the refined sugar is like poison in the body. And I'm like, the message that we put out there every day, it really does have a ripple effect on the world. It really does. We might not think so, but I guess over these 4 years we've lost hope because we've seen so much devastation happen in such a short period of time of so many people self-harming because of the bully energy of the deep, dark, satanic state that runs this world, and the strength that's within us. Unfortunately, because we are empathic, because we are sensitive, we almost don't want to hurt people, and we almost don't want to upset people. So many people took the jab because I don't want to upset my family. I don't want to upset my children. I don't want to upset my doctor. I don't want to upset my boss. And and we are so easily manipulated because we just don't want to have confrontation. None of us do. I'm talking about kind souls, loving souls. It goes against our nature to fight back. And that's why it's been a challenge for a lot of us who had the strength to stand up and say no. We didn't fight, really. We just stood our ground. But inside, we could feel the anger of others. We could feel the anger of others. I did it, so you should do it. Why should you be any different? You know? And like I said, when you look at the way people are, the way humanity acts, you start to realize that we are different from certain people. Did we push people not to take the poison? No. We stood up and said, look guys, we're a little bit worried, and maybe why don't we just hang fire before we do anything? I'm not saying don't take it, I'm just saying just hang fire a little bit because something doesn't feel right. We didn't go around screaming and shouting. We didn't go around telling our family you're a freaking idiot. We didn't say anything like that. I didn't anyway. I just felt so bad. I felt so sick inside. I felt so traumatized. And when they started with our children, that was it. I started finding myself getting more and more upset, more and more depressed. I got bouts of it felt like anger, but it was more trauma. It was trauma based, and I'm still trying to heal from it to this day. You know, there's never a day that goes by that I don't hear a story of trauma-based poison effect. Yesterday there was another one. A beautiful mother and child just had to say goodbye to their 38-year-old husband who just suddenly died. And every day there's I mean, I can't read all the emails. In fact, I have a couple of emails here, 3 emails, and I know I shouldn't be reading these, but I just want to tell you about how monsters attack us daily, or me. So this is, he calls himself Nelson Mandela. You are a piece of shit. There you go, that's nice. Here's another one. Kenneth Brannan, at least he says his name. Deceiver, devil worshipper. You are the monster. Nice. Here's another one. Kate Topping. Kate Topping says, hang on, she's an energy healer. You are a deceiver. You do not fit in this world. You should leave. Another one here. Let me just find this one. This one was a good one. This one's from Eric. Eric B. Eric B says, what have you ever done for anybody? That's short but sweet. Anyway, you have to laugh. Let me switch it off. I could show you maybe 500 messages over the past week that say beautiful things, and really I should be more focused on that. But there are monsters out there who every day try their best, do their utmost to try and change the energy within me, and it makes me giggle because there is some truth in this badge of honor, and there's also some truth in what I noticed 20 years ago. You know, you often look back on your life and wonder why we were bullied, why we were targeted, why we were always the ones that evil came after. And as you get older, you start to realize what it's all about. And at one time, I used to listen to the spiritual teachers who told us that we're here for certain reasons, and there's many spiritual teachers tell us this, and to a degree I believe that we're all right and we're all wrong. And I think the more I realize as I get older, the more I realize there's far more to everything that I actually regurgitated, that everything is simplistic. It isn't that simple, really. We used to believe it was, but I'm not so sure anymore. I think there's so many things happening at once that it's a complicated, complex web of love and evil that works for somehow hand in hand. They work together, so sometimes you can feel great and sometimes you can feel awful. And this is the way it is. It's light and dark. They say yin and yang, good and bad. Seems to be. Some days you can have a beautiful day and some days you can have a terrible day. And I find that the more you shine, the more you're attacked, and the more hijacking of entity, dark energies, evil people that are easily manipulated, that will come along and hijack your perfect moment without even knowing. They don't even know what they're doing. They just hijack a moment in time. So yesterday I started meditating, and something really beautiful started to happen. And within that moment, somebody passed by and started talking really loud on his phone, right next to me. And when we try and meditate, we try and drown out the noise. We talk about a fly landing on us and not letting it upset us, not letting anything penetrate us. This is part of pure energy healing when we do meditation. But I've noticed it's become more evident and more forceful and more abusive. Darkness is stronger than it used to be. It used to be subtle at one time and we could drown out that noise. But now I've found that it's become so much stronger within the manipulation of souls that have no understanding of life, that have no respect, no morals, just totally walking zombies. So they're easily used. And this guy was basically shouting on his phone, literally next to me. And there was, the beach was so long. You could look for 1 mile, 2 miles, and there was hardly anybody on it. So why would he be next to me screaming and shouting on his phone? And he took 4 steps away from me and then 4 steps back. I realized that what happened at that given moment is actually a thunderbolt and lightning strike. It actually hit me like a ton of bricks. What I realized at that moment was that I was having a download, and evil is around watching anybody who's having any downloads, who's connecting to our home world, connecting to the source of love and healing, and they're trying to hijack that. And what I noticed is I kind of shook myself off, and what I noticed was I forgot what was being given to me, because at the very point of getting the download, that I don't know if you've ever had this before, but it's an overwhelming feeling of love, and that's because you're connecting to your home world. And it feels like you're just being healed from the inside. It's like you're having a massage. It's like somebody's just giving you as much love as they could possibly give you. You can feel the clearing of your mind of all the negativity and all the darkness, and you can feel the clearing of the physical, clearing the body. And then you get the download. And what I found was this guy came from nowhere, literally came from nowhere. But the point is, after he left, I realized, and I asked myself, as I do, as I'm an observer of life like you are, I asked myself, first of all, where did he just come from? And how was it that the other side of this coin of love, the darkness, how did they know that at that very point I was going to have the download? Which means darkness also has the records, has the files, has the, you know, conscious book that we read as healers, as psychics, that we can attune to your future. Maybe darkness has that as well and knows exactly when you are going to have a profound moment, and they're going to do something to stop you. I mean, what other reason? There was nobody on the beach hardly at all. Nobody. I was like literally the only one. It was getting dark. There was nobody there. There was no reason for this man to be there at all. There was no hotel behind me. It's basically an empty space. There was nothing there. But this guy ended up just as I was doing, and then started to scream and shout on his phone. The only conclusion is that some entity made sure that at that moment I could have that download. And what I recognized as well is that I couldn't remember what that download was about to be, even though in that moment I knew straight away what was coming. It was like, okay, I know what's coming now. I know, and I don't know whether it was for work, whether it was a message to help people, whether it was a message to call somebody because they need a helping hand because they're in a bad place. It just went. So I couldn't get it back. At that moment, I couldn't get it back. And it does affect us. It can affect us. No, there's all these people who are going to come online now and start saying, Mark, you're not a healer. You're obviously not strong enough. You're not powerful enough. And I mean, come on, guys, wake up. Stop with your nonsense. Stop with your nonsense. As if you're superheroes and everybody should follow you and you have the magic pill, you have the answer to everything. I've been a healer for 20 years. I've probably meditated more than you have in 1 year than you have in your whole life. Don't tell me you think you know how to do. In fact, I tell you what really irritates me sometimes. I remember this guy who claimed to be an absolute guru in meditation and in yoga. He used to follow me all the time, and I knew his mum, and I gave his mum healing sessions over 5 years. She was a multi-millionaire, okay, and she lived in Ibiza, and she used to come all the way over from Ibiza to have a healing session and sometimes a psychic reading. And this guy who she used to say, oh, my son does, you know, similar work to you, is a yoga teacher, and he called himself Guru something, and I don't want to remember his name because I don't want to remember him. But he used to always comment on all my posts, and it was like, are you really a guru? Are you really it just didn't seem and feel right. Every time he did it, it felt there's anger in this message. There's jealousy. There's almost abuse trying to pull me down all the time. And I'm like, this is weird. Anyway, I split up from my partner. She'd gone her way. I went mine. We're still friends to this day. Very good friends. Because we were doing our own thing. And that's the way it is. That's life. Anyway, I met somebody new a while later, and we went to Ibiza, and for some reason this lady contacted me and said, Mark, please stay with me. I've got a courthouse. So she has a massive house and like a little courthouse or an adjoining little house, casita. And it was beautiful, and I wasn't really keen on doing it because I knew what was going to happen, and I'd stopped doing readings and healings, but she insisted. Anyway, I think we only stayed there a couple of days, something like that. And of course I ended up giving her a healing session, which is fine, from my heart to hers. And then she said, oh, my son's coming over. And I went, oh, okay, well, we're going. And I really can't be doing healing sessions. And I kind of remembered what kind of energy he was. But the guy was so famous in Germany. It's unreal. He had a massive following, huge, and they did call him a guru, and they loved this guy. I saw ego, and I saw there was something not right, and the way he spoke to me, it just didn't make any sense. Anyway, at breakfast, she asked me, "Oh, my son's here." Came over with his girlfriend, and I went, "Oh, okay." Anyway, he came downstairs, and I met him, and it was exactly what I thought. There was something not right at all, and he had all the guru stuff on. He all looked like a guru. He looked like with his hair back, and you know, he looked like he was trying to be a guru, and obviously does yoga and all that. And I don't really know about him. Okay. Anyway, he spoke for an hour. I just listened, and then we went. The mother left to go somewhere that night, so he was in the house with his girlfriend on his own. What I didn't know, and this happens to me all the time, that's why I have to stop doing this work. This happens all the time to me. This is just one thing that happened out of hundreds and hundreds of things. So there was a sequences of events that happened to lead me to a situation whereby, for some reason, we couldn't find anywhere to eat that night, me and my partner. So we thought we'd go home earlier and just go to bed and have an earlier night, because there were nowhere up. Worked all day on the power of MOLDAVITE. So we got back to this casita, and there was a bang at the door. Dum, 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 dum. And I opened the door, and it was the son of this woman, this so-called guru. And he says his hand was wrapped up, bandaged up. I went, "Are you okay?" He said, "No, I'm not." He says, "Is there any chance I could talk to you in private?" So I said, "Yeah, I'll come round." And my partner looked at me and says, "Oh, don't ask. I knew something was going to happen." So I went round, and I'll tell you what happened before the course of events. I went into the room, his girlfriend was upstairs, and he looked at me and he says, "I need help." And what he said next was, again, exactly what I thought. He says, "I am cursed with evil, and every year about this time I have to cause pain. I need to hurt somebody really badly," meaning ritualistic abuse, killing somebody or whatever. "And if I don't get help right now, I'm frightened in case of what I do." And I put my hand straight onto his heart, and I said a prayer to spirit, and as I could feel the burning of my hand, I started to sweat, and he stopped talking, and I just poured as much pure energy into his heart. The burning was getting more, my hand was burning, whatever was this consciousness. It was like, it was awful. And I could feel my heart feeling pain, I could feel the darkness. And it lasted for about half an hour, and then I took my hand away. That night, I believe I saved a Polish woman from death. The course of events was, that afternoon he was doing some cooking, and as he was cooking, for some reason, hot fat from the pan burned his hand really badly. He went to the emergency hospital in Ibiza, and they gave him Valium, and they bandaged him up. The reason why he opened up to me is because he was high as a kite. Valium. or whatever it's called, whatever the things that they stick in me. It might not have been Valium, it might have been something else. What's it called when I had it, when I had my foot done, and you start saying things and you can't, the truth comes out when this happens. I can't remember what it's called. You'll know better than me, but it's the strong stuff. Like when you've got cancer, they give it to you. They give you more and more and more till you're dead, right? So you know what I'm on about. So the course of events brought him to have no, you know, it's the separation to his dark consciousness was gone. So he couldn't be, you know, like we have this conscious connection, right? Which gives us this attunement to be careful. It's called intuition. That's not, intuition is your connection to your consciousness. So when that's severed by poison or by drugs, we're not perceptive anymore. And when you're on drugs like that, you just become so open. You'll just say anything, in the sense that the truth just comes out because there is no filter. So because of those course of events, he came round and basically begged for help because he had this urge to cause suffering, which he has done for years, every year. I could write a book about stories like this. So when I read messages that, who the hell do you think you are? What you know nothing. What have you ever done? It's like I shake my head, guys, and think, in one sense, it's a badge of honor. It really is. And if only people knew what my life has been like for 20 years as a real healer. And I know people call themselves healers all the time, but I mean a real healer. The ones that actually sometimes save lives, whether they're sick, whether they're going to buy a car and that car might be dangerous, and we can attune to that and we can say, maybe just check it out before you buy it, before that all the brakes. There would have been a good chance that the person would have been killed in the car. All of these things that happened occurred to me over and over again. I don't need recognition. I don't need somebody to say, oh, you're a good lad, you've done a good job. But it makes me wonder that now, more than ever, I see people which are obviously monsters, more and more becoming more confident in the attack against humanity. I see humanity being fooled more and more. Humanity believing in something or somebody, that they are the savior. All the time. Looking for gurus, looking for presidents. And some of the smartest people in the world that get fooled all the time. Get fooled because they believe that this man's saving the world, and if it wasn't for him, then it's somebody else, and thank God he's doing it. It's like we'll never grow in a spiritual sense if we're always having to believe in somebody and that we need somebody to fix this world. Each one of us who comes from my home world has a gift and a power beyond anybody else's power, beyond anybody else's gift. The thing is, you've been hoodwinked, you've been duped into believing that you are only little old you. You're nothing else, you're nothing more. And that was the trick, that was the deceit of darkness. And then you've got all these, whatever you want to call them, NPCs, monsters, are always there to reaffirm, to tell you that you're not good enough, to tell you that you've got no gift, you're nobody. Who the hell do you think you are with your ego thinking that you're something? What do you mean you're calling yourself a goddess? They're bringing forward thoughts into your head to make you believe that you are, either when you have the confidence that you're, oh, now you're becoming too confident. Now you're becoming selfish. Now you're becoming self-bloated in importance. All of these things are deliberately made to pull you down, to stop you from reaching your highest level of experience and the power that lies within. And it happens every day, and it's happening more and more. And my point being is, sat on the beach, just about to go into deep meditation, and somebody just turns up. It's almost like we're being stopped from speaking, from sharing energy, from sharing love. They're stopping us. They're doing their best every day. And I've noticed more and more the amount of abuse that is happening in my circle with people that I don't know, people that I do know. The abuse is actually getting worse. They're becoming worse. And it's really something that we need to look at. So I'd like to also end this little chat with, no matter how many times we are confronted by darkness or confronted by those that are weak and easily influenced to try and stop us, even though they don't realize it, we have to be aware of our power, and we have to be stronger now than we've ever been. We have to be true to ourselves, and we have to learn to believe. We have to learn to dig deep and know that we are here for a reason, and that we have to start to practice what we preach. We have to start believing in our own words instead of just regurgitating them. We have to follow through, and we have to walk the walk as we talk the talk. We have to be the tree that stands strong. When the wind blows, when people try and cut us down, when people try and poison us, we have to be stronger than all of these things. However we create a shield, however we discern between light and dark, however the knowledge and wisdom that we've accumulated over these years, we have to now start to put them into practice. We have to be the stronger, and we have to be the light in a world where more darkness is. And we have to remember that in that darkness, you can still see a light miles away. And I believe that if you're watching this, and this isn't corny and bullshit, but if you're watching this, there's a reason. And that reason is that you are one of those lights. You are the lighthouse in this world, and there's not many left. So please shine that beautiful light of yours. And in the face of darkness, know your truth and be strong. I'll leave you with one thing. I became a healer, and I don't know why. The first time I ever experienced an exorcism was something that I believe, if I'd have looked back at, that I would not want to experience. My thoughts at that point, when it was ever mentioned, I would think to myself, I have no idea. I don't want to be involved with that. I don't want to have this demonic energy near me. I don't want it to attach to me. I don't know what I do. I just want to be a nice little healer and give energy healing. I remember when this lady from Spain came up the stairs, and I could see she was literally possessed. I told her not to speak, although she was Spanish. I told her to stop speaking. She was mumbling, crying, and I asked her to lay down. As she laid down, something came over me, something so profound that words can't even explain. I couldn't even type it out, even if I tried. An overwhelming feeling came over me, and it was a feeling of a dual energy, one where it felt like I'd just been given an armor, a coat of armor, but more so some kind of courage that came into me, some kind of wisdom and knowing that I'd never experienced in my life. I looked into the eyes of this demon, not the woman. I said, "You have no power over me." And I said, "No darkness can stay where light is." And I kept repeating this. And I had this strength, and no matter what she did, how she was fighting, how she was cursing and screaming and spitting and doing weird things, it had no effect over me at all. My brain was just cleared, and the actions that I took and the feeling that came over me was, I've done this before. And within 2 hours, that demonic energy had disappeared. It had gone. Where it went, I don't know. People ask me that every day. I don't know. I don't look at that. I never looked at that. Like, are you better now? Yeah, that's all that matters. I don't give a crap about where it's gone, what realm it's gone to, whether it's, you know, can you kill energy? Can you melt it away? I had no idea. I just know what I see. But this lady was crying, and she gave me a hug, and it had gone. And when she left, I went down them stairs, and I never spoke to anybody about it for ages, not for weeks. It was too intense, it was too beautiful, it was too special, and I needed to understand it. And I spent many a days sat by my tree trying to understand it. The one thing that I know is this: if you're watching this, you may think you are nobody. You may think that you know nothing. But let me tell you, when the time comes, something happens that you one day will realize that you've been here before, and you've experienced things that nobody would ever understand. And in that moment that you're needed, whether it's holding somebody's hand who's not feeling good, whether it's being the healer through words or just listening, just remember that you have the gift. You are the light. You are the healer in this world. So don't ever look at yourself as just you. You are powerful. Sometimes we don't even realize how powerful we are until the moment happens. So just know that you are here for a reason. And just keep being you, the special you that you are, amazing you, powerful you. The one thing that really made me sad over the 20 years of being a healer and a psychic is watching people come upstairs and sit down deflated, lost, sick, heartbroken, filled with grief, feeling as if they're useless, feeling suicidal, feeling depressed, all of those feelings. And what upset me most of all was how they could not see what I could see within them. And what I did then is I smiled in their face, and then I read who they were. I told them exactly who they were. And at the end of 1 hour, every single dark, painful sickness, negative energy in their head or their stomach had disappeared. And they became their true self. And I saw a different person leaving my room after a healing and reading. I saw the real person. I saw the person that they forgot who they were. There's never a moment in your life that you cannot be healed from negative energy. There's never a moment that you cannot find your true balance and your true self. The opportunity is always there. So go find it and remember who you are. And if you can't, then start to work on that. Make that be your project today. But I tell you this, when I look into your eyes, I see nothing but infinite power and love and healing. And that's why I always say that you are a natural healer. And what could be more powerful than being a healer and not even realizing you are? And you heal people every day. Now that is a true healer. So I wish you a lovely day, you beautiful healers. Take care of yourselves. Have a great day. I'll leave you with this beautiful view. I'll take you for a walk. Okay, lovelies, have a great day. Love you all. Take care. Bye for now. Maybe see you tomorrow in Ubud. I leave tomorrow for Ubud. So take care, everybody. Thanks for being with me. Love you all. Take care, guys. Ciao, ciao.